بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لله الحمد رب السماوات ورب الأرض رب العالمين وله الكبرياء في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم نحمده تعالى وهو جل وعلا ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا مولانا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة فجزاه الله عنا وعن كل المسلمين خيرا اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا أما بعد. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, let us begin tonight with the dua upon the completion of food. Alhamdulillahi alladhi at'amana wa saqana wa ja'alana min al-muslimin. As we broke our fast tonight in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we expressed our utmost gratitude to Him for His bounties and His blessings. We acknowledge that these bounties are a gift from Him and not something that we should take for granted because of who we are and where we are. As we express our gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we understand that with food comes energy, with energy there comes responsibility. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us at all times to exhort our energy in that which pleases Him. Say Ameen. May Allah protect us from using our energy in things that cause His displeasure. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. As we continue our journey today, subhanallah, tonight is the 7th night of Taraweeh. Subhanallah, time is flying so fast. And today, inshallah, we will be beginning from the halfway point of the 8th juz, just a quarter juz shy of the 10th juz. So we'll finish at 9 3/4. SubhanAllah, 3/4 into the 9th, we're almost completing 10 juz of the Holy Quran. May Allah allow that Quran to stay with us in our hearts. Ameen. Today is Surah A'raf. Surah A'raf means the heights, and it's a very beautiful story. I call it a beautiful story because the way it is depicted shows a sense of urgency and desperation that should push us not to be in that position. But before we get to that story, the 5 pointers that we want to take with us tonight as we hear the Holy Quran. In the beginning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about the weight on the Day of Judgment. وَالْوَزْنُ يَوْمَئِذٍ الْحَقِّ فَمَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ وَمَنْ خَفَّتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُم. We hear about this scale. We hear about judgment and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to judge people on the Day of Judgment. I want you all to understand Allah will not be judging as much as you will be judging yourself. It's called the Day of Judgment because the judge is Allah. But in another verse of the Quran, it kind of explains how that would play out. Everything that we do in our world is being recorded. You have 2 angels working overtime to write every single thing we're doing. And ultimately what happens is on the Day of Judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open those records. And He will say, Iqra kitabak. Go ahead, read your book. Allah doesn't need to stand there and for people to assume that Allah is being biased or taking sides. No. This is your book. You read it. Iqra kitabak kafa bi nafsika al-yawma alayka hasiba. You alone are the judge, the jury, and everything else. You can take care of it from there. Your book tells you what the story end is. Because you're the author of your book. We are all authors of our book. People write their lives like story close to the end of their time, or others write about their lives once they pass. You are actively an author writing your destiny and your story. Write it. Since you're writing it, Allah will say, read it. But over here, it shows a different picture. That as you read that book, and that your scale of good deeds will be heavy. فَمَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ. The scale of good is heavy. فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. They're the successful ones. I want you to understand one thing, brothers and sisters, very clearly tonight. The ones whose scales are heavy because they sent forward and then they preserved it. See, there could be a person who makes $1 million in a year, but their expenditure is $2.3 million. I don't care if you consider them to be rich. In my eyes, they're super poor. Why? Because what's coming in, double plus is going out. They're poor. A Muslim could perform great deeds, but not have the ability to preserve those deeds, to save those deeds, to send them forward. You see, we have to, number one, as Muslims, make deeds and make a savings account. And we have to trickle those deeds into savings accounts. Now, if you're making 30,000 deeds a year, but you're saving good 27,000 of them, you're rich. Now, when you save them for tomorrow, on that day, a hadith demonstrates what's going to happen. A person will come to Allah with mountains of good deeds. Everything's going to look hunky-dory. It's like, I got like Mount Everest times billion of good deeds. I'm fine. I'm good. That person will feel confident. And they will be presented in front of Allah. And them and Allah, Allah and them, their account is clear. I.e., there is no pending violations or sins between him and Allah. So Allah's like, between us, we're good. It's fine. But that's half the story. Now an angel will announce, does anyone have any grievances or claims against this person? Allah and the person is fine. What about the people with the person? That's a whole different story. That's the other side of the coin. Now you'll see hands starting to come up. And people will then come forward. And Allah will say, what's your claim? He pushed me. I see. What do you want? I want 10,000 deeds. Take it. What happened to you? He cursed me. He stole my honor by creating a story that was false about me. He mocked me. She hurt me. In our eyes, and I don't know if it's our culture, we feel these things are jokes. These are not jokes. These are means to destroy your current life and tomorrow. Long story short, the line will continue to grow. The grievances to you and I right now may be pitiful. But ultimately now deeds are flying out of this guy's Mount Everest. You understand? Deeds are going because it's the day of justice. What do you want? And they'll say, we want X, Y, and Z. And Allah will say, take it. How silly and foolish are we today that because of our egos, we don't want to approach someone and say, I'm sorry. Either we're too into ourselves that we cannot say, I'm the one who caused this problem. Put a foot on your ego today, save your deeds tomorrow. Because right now we're sending deeds, tomorrow we need to make sure they are safe for us so it gets us to paradise. You cannot get to paradise because you come to Allah with deeds. You can get to paradise when Allah is happy that you've preserved those deeds for paradise. This person will be the ultimate loser. And I'll tell you why. Because all of his deeds will deplete. He'll finish. And there are still claimants waiting. And at that time, Allah will ask their grievances. They will say their grievances. Allah will say, what you want? They will say, Allah, there's nothing that we can take. Allah will say, let's make it a fair bargain. Dump your sins on him. Dump your sins on him. A person who was walking up to Allah for judgment with confidence because of his or her deeds, I'm making it both, is now going into the hellfire. May Allah protect us all. Ameen. So on that day, we need to first send deeds forward and we need to save them and then we need to preserve them. We need to save them by not backbiting and harming in this world because we give those rewards to other people. But if we continue this trend, tomorrow it's going to make us lose also. The surah continues with the story of Iblis, Mal'un, and then Adam alayhi salam. The whole episode is there. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in verse number 35 says something very beautiful. You guys have a religion where your God is constantly dictating on you what you can do. It's American society, you can't have a Heineken. It's American society, you can't, go whenever you want to go, wherever you want to go. What kind of religion is this that you're always being controlled? What kind of religion is this? Allah told us, don't eat this, don't drink this, don't do this, don't say this. Why? Allah in verse 35 of this surah in a beautiful way explains why. قُلْ إِنَّمَا حَرَّمَ رَبِّيَ الْفَوَاحِشِ مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا وَمَا بَطَنَ وَالْإِثْمَ وَالْبَغْيَ بِغَيْرِ الْحَقِّ. All that Allah has forbidden in Islam has a purpose. He is protecting you from immoralities, the apparent and the concealed. For when we violate the territory of Allah, we transgress those bounds and we start doing what we want to do, it makes us immoral human beings. And the saying goes, إِذَا لَمْ تَسْتَحِي فَاسْنَعْ مَا شِئْتَ. When there is no shame, there is no distinction. You do what you want. Allah is telling us to stay away from pork. Why is Allah saying it when bacon's such a big thing here in America? Every morning you go, everyone's having bacon in their sandwiches, bacon with their eggs. I know there's that Muslim trend here in America. Everyone goes to IHOP for suhoor. I don't know how people can eat that. I ate it twice in my life and I vomited for days. And I didn't eat bacon. I ate pancakes. Sorry, just want to clarify that. It just didn't settle for my stomach. Alhamdulillah. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us why. Because He created it. He knows what it does to you. The statistics in America show us alcohol-related violence, alcohol-related shootings, alcohol-related death. Allah is telling us, I'm not preventing you or forbidding these things on you because I'm jealous. Na'udhu billah. Allah is not preventing it so you stand out like a sore thumb. Allah is saying it because He doesn't want you to have a defective life. A Muslim has the greatest opportunity to show what a wholesome life is. When we don't drink, we are in a state of sanity. When we don't do drugs, we know what we are doing in our life. When we don't eat pork and eat things which are haram, we uphold the morality and the moral compass within us. Everything we do is with purpose, everything we do is for goodness, and everything we do gives us return in this world and the next, helps us and the people around us, and it continues to reverberate throughout time. So Allah is saying whatever He has prevented you from is from immoralities, apparent or concealed, the sin, wal-ithm, because sin makes you a lost person. When you indulge in sin, you are lost. I remember I used to go to a gas station next to the masjid in Florida. Hafiz Hassan was there, he used to work there, we used to sit down and talk. And this woman would walk in every so often. She had just cashed her social security check. And she'd come in and buy, because lottery's big in Florida, so she'd buy the lotto tickets, right? The scratch ones. And she'd be sitting there, okay, give me one of those. She gets it, she starts scratching. Give me another one. And I'm seeing her throw $20, $40, $60, $80. She's just throwing it. She just had her social security check. I'm sure she has to live on this for at least a week. She has needs and necessities. But when you indulge in sins, you succumb to those habits. Those habits ruin you. Those habits make you lose your life, your family, your children. Go to Los Angeles. Many on the streets are not hobos or homeless people. They're people who once held a prestigious position, but they went into gambling, they went into drugs, they went into drinking. Their husband or their wife left them. Their children left them. Their empire collapsed in front of their face, and today they're on the street. And if you feel sorry for them and you give them $5 to go get a meal, I promise you they're going to go to the liquor store and buy a bottle of beer. Allah is telling us, I'm telling you because I don't want to see you in this state. And when you live by this, with pride. We are Muslims, we have to live with pride. My Allah has prevented me from this. My life will demonstrate to those who are confused why I am so confident. وَالْبَغْيَ بِغَيْرِ الْحَقِّ. And oppression. We talked about oppression last night. We move on to verse number 43. So we're talking about Surah A'raf, the height. Talked about the weight and the importance of sending forward good deeds and preserving them till paradise. We are understanding why Allah is forbidding us from that which He forbade for us. Number 3. وَنَزَعْنَا مَا فِي صُدُورِهِمْ مِنْ غِلٍّ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهِمُ الْأَنْهَارُ وَقَالُوا الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ الَّذِي هَدَانَا لِهَذَا وَمَا كُنَّا لِنَهْتَدِيَ لَوْلَا أَنْ هَدَانَا اللَّهُ. I want everyone to take verse 43 home tonight. If you can't read Quran in Ramadan, it's fine. If you can't pray anything in addition to what you're accustomed to praying, it's fine. If you cannot give a single dollar of charity, it's fine. But if you could accomplish this one thing, the one thing that will prevent the people of paradise from entering into paradise, if you can stop it now, you've accomplished more than everyone combined. A person will go on the day of judgment and be judged by Allah, and then the creation. And then after we'll cross the bridge of Sirat, under which is the hellfire. وَإِن مِّنكُمْ إِلَّا وَارِدُهَا كَانَ عَلَى رَبِّكَ حَتْمًا مَقْضِيًّا. Every single person, including the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, has to pass over hellfire. Every one of us will pass over hellfire. So we will realize what it is that we're getting. And sit in the grave when you answer the questions correctly. A door opens by the foot side. It shows the hellfire. The angels say, because of your answer, you've saved yourself from this. Now on your right side, they open a window of paradise. Go to sleep. We'll see you on the day of judgment. But on that bridge, going back to the bridge, amana and rahim, trust and blood. Amana, trust and blood are like cranes. If you're trying to run across that bridge and you violated trust or you violated blood, which means the respect of your children, your parents, your brothers and your sisters, those cranes will grab you. Some will get through, bruised up, cut up. Some will drag themselves across, and some will just cut up and fall into hell. May Allah protect all of us. See what I mean? It's real tomorrow. It's going to be real. But now that they drank from the hands of the Prophet ﷺ, and now they're going to Jannah, the angel will say, nope, can't go. There is something in you that is counterproductive, and it is not allowed into paradise. When you go to the airport, TSA, they say, you have a bottle of water, you have a cup of Starbucks, throw it in the garbage. You can't come past security with that. It needs to go. There's something Allah's going to throw away from us. And it's going to be sad that we drag it with us all the way there. And that's called ghil. The best English translation is rancor, which is also, I think, a character in Star Wars. Rancor. Rancor, yes. I'll show you a picture. I googled it once when I was doing this, because that's what came up. Right? What is that? What's rancor? Huge monster. You know what that monster is doing with us? We hate each other. We are our biggest enemy. How can a Muslim harbor animosity against another Muslim? Allah is not going to allow anyone to go into paradise with animosity in their heart. وَنَزَعْنَا, we're going to pull for them. Naza' means to yank. Allah is going to yank from them that hatred. إِخْوَانًا عَلَى سُرُرٍ مُتَقَابِلِينَ. Another verse says that then they will sit like true brothers face to face. Today we sit together face to face. We smile, we talk. In our heart we're cursing each other. The second we finish our conversation, we turn to the next person, or we're on WhatsApp saying, man, that person is crazy. How can I get this person off my back? The person is taking too long. We're never happy with each other. And remember, if you can remove that from your heart, Insha'Allah, Allah has found that place in your heart. For you've given Allah that place. But so long you keep that in your heart, it's not going to happen. They will have to literally take this shower in this waterfall where Allah will take it out of them. And then they will say, وَقَالُوا الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ الَّذِي هَدَانَا لِهَذَا. Oh Allah, we thank you that you guided us to this path. We would have never guided us ourselves unless you had guided us. I swear by Allah, we think too big sometimes. Scholars, unfortunately, are still debating this moon calculation issue 7 days into Ramadan. If you want an ummah, forget one Eid, forget one Ramadan. I want anyone who claims that they can make a true ummah, let's start from one masjid. Let us start from one community. Let's start with the 300 of us here today. That truly we remove from our hearts all ill thoughts and hatred, animosity and rancor from our hearts. Remove it. Because only you have that control. No one else does. Going to Surah Araf, the beautiful story. Time is less, and I also want to give an announcement. On the Day of Judgment, there's going to be a scenario played out after the Day of Judgment. In short, the people of heaven are going to call the people of hell. Hey guys, what Allah told us, what He promised us, we got it. How about you guys? Yeah, whatever we work towards, that's what we got. They're having a conversation here. Can you send us something from up there? Nope, we can't. Allah will tell the angels, it's haram on you. This is for the people of paradise. No sneak peeks, no previews, no bootleg movie here. Sorry, this is for us. But then there will be some other people that will emerge right in the middle. Imagine someone's on this side, someone's on that side, and someone's stuck in the middle. وَعَلَى الْأَعْرَافِ رِجَالٌ يَعْرِفُونَهُم بِسِيمَاهُم. In the middle, they couldn't make it to paradise. They were a step away from falling into hell. They're stuck there. And they'll say, hey, I knew you. Hey, I know you guys also. Could someone help us? So in that conversation, they would also be saying, staying with you, the people of hell, gave us no benefit. We're stuck here. If we were to stay with the good people, we would have made it to paradise. My call to the families that feel that because there's always cliques amongst Muslims, we should just stay away from people. You can never succeed alone. We need to get over our cliques and differences and raise our families together, because if we don't have a good environment is not going to fall from heaven. We need to make it, we need to build it. I used to be a very staunch critic of Dallas when I was living in Florida, because there's so many Muslims here. A lot of people move here because they think it's good Muslim community. There is no Muslim community. Yeah, there's 200,000 Muslims, but there's no community. You can't come here expecting goodness. You need to come here and make that goodness. The Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba never went to Medina to say, let's relax here. They went there and they made it a place where people after them relax. We need to build that community. We need to build that goodness. And that goodness will only be as good as what we leave behind as our legacy. So the people of hell will tell them, what good did your good deeds do? You're still stuck in the middle. Then Allah's mercy will come full force. And Allah will say, أَهَؤُلَاءِ الَّذِينَ أَقْسَمْتُمْ لَا يَنَالُكُمُ اللَّهُ بِرَحْمَةٍ. They're saying God's not going to help you? أُدْخُلُوا الْجَنَّةِ. Go to paradise. Go to paradise. Imagine that moment when you're stuck in the middle and you don't know your destiny for eternity. How would you feel? Allah says, go to paradise. And then it will be done. The people of heaven will be in eternity for heaven, and the people of hell will dwell in hell for eternity and forever. May Allah make us all amongst the people of heaven. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Last two things. I know time is less. There's going to be a great deal of discussion in the end of this surah about Musa alayhi salam and magic. We are living in a time where deception is right. You can watch TV shows and there are demonstrations of magic all around. Remember, children, magic is illusion of the eyes. You want to move the illusion in that parda, that veil. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ and قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. Musa alayhi salam was living at a time when he used to go to the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh thought that his taking his hand out of his armpit and making a light was magic. He thought his staff was magic. So the Pharaoh gathered the best magicians from the area. And then they had a contest at a stadium. The concept of stadiums is ancient. And at that time they threw down their ropes and it mesmerized the eyes of the people as if they were serpents. And Musa alayhi salam was told by Allah, throw down your staff. He threw down his staff and it became a true serpent. They ran from there because they knew what magic was, and they said, this isn't magic, and his serpent ate up all those ropes. The same people that Pharaoh told, you'll have a share of my kingdom, went back to Pharaoh and said, we bring faith on Musa and his Lord. You know why? Because when people see the truth, they will know the truth. When they know the truth, they'll embrace the truth. When they embrace the truth, they will die with the truth. The Pharaoh said, you guys played a game against me. I'm going to kill all of you. They said, kill us. Kill us. We are with Musa alayhi salam. They were not even believers for a day, but what they saw gave them that determination that the truth is the truth, and when we see the truth, there's no turning back from the truth. May Allah allow us in this month to see the truth. May Allah allow us in this month to experience the truth. May Allah allow us in this month to gain closeness to the truth, and may Allah allow us to live by the truth and die by the truth. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. We're going to call the Azhar right now, but just one announcement. I want to keep it short as possible. Brothers and sisters, in the time of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, there used to be one adhan for Jumu'ah. Then it became two later on. And the reason was people were out there working, and of course, it was in the middle of the day, and people would come to the masjid, and some people would be sweaty, and because they're sweaty, they would be in order. So the second adhan, the two adhan concept was, first adhan is called stop your work, go home, shower up, get ready, come back to the masjid for Jumu'ah. When we come to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sisters and brothers, let us make sure we're in the best of our appearances and the best of our sense. Let us ensure that we do our best, inshallah, because then it kind of disturbs the people around us, and of course the angels in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let's keep that in front and center. Jazakumullah khairan to everyone for that. I mean no ill towards anyone. Just saying, let's keep that front and center. Another thing is, in fiqh, there is a ruling, there is something that's taught, that if Qari Mu'adh is sitting right now, he's sitting here at this spot, he left his cup here. Now if he broke his wudu, he needs to go make wudu or something, he should leave his cup and he comes back, he is the rightful owner of this spot. Do you understand, everyone? He was here, this is his spot, he had to leave for something, he comes back, that should be his spot, no one has the right to take that spot. That is different than what we're hearing that's happening in our masjid. People are coming and putting out prayer mats or purses or chairs or something, and they're walking away so that they could come back to that spot for prayer. Let us not harm each other. I taught in the sisters class also, the Prophet Muhammad said, the best row for the men are the front rows, and the best row for the women are the back rows. So for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you're here at Maghrib and you're sitting there and then you need to go to the bathroom or something, it makes total sense. But to come in the afternoon, put out a rug, or to put something down to reserve that spot, or if someone comes, you say, no, this is reserved for X, Y, and Z, it's hurtful. Let us just come and pray wherever the first spot is. Inshallah, can I get everyone's cooperation on this? Inshallah, jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.